Hey guys, it's J-Miles here. From a Valk nerf over to a Seer nerf over to people that were not happy about the amount of exposure that North American players got at the ALGS World Championship and not the Asian region, and some beef between Imperial How and his Wattson. So much in the news in today's video. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Don't forget, this Friday we're picking our 10,000 Apex coin winner, so you're approaching your last few chances to enter in. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. Before we get into it, I just want to say the gameplay in the background is me sweating. It's my first game in a couple of days and I was popping off feeling good, but please do not judge me or make fun of me for the ending and what I did. It was pretty bad. Okay, so first off, I wanted to make mention of this. iLootGames posted this on Twitter, and honestly, dude, I thought this was pretty sick. So this is a flatline event skin, and dude, this thing is absolutely nuts. So we always talk about in Apex, there's these things what we call pay to win skins, and basically there's certain guns who have certain skins that iron sights are much better than the default ones. Flatline, definitely the season 4 iron sights are absolutely insane compared to the basic ones. The R99, you guys know there's a couple of them that have better iron sights than the stock ones, and I believe there are a couple other guns as well where basically it's just way easier to aim and way easier to track whenever you're on these pay to win skins versus, you know, the default skin that a game comes with. However, these new flatline skins I really love. If you can see right here, there's so much more visibility, and I think this is the biggest argument when it comes to this. Basically, when the iron sights are better, they give you more visibility, they let you see more of your enemy that you're shooting, and I think this new flatline skin does exactly that as well. And it's just so much more sleek, so much easier to track. I think you guys will really like these. Personally, I really like the way they look, so I'm very interested to see how you guys feel about them as well. But nonetheless, I thought you guys would think that looks pretty cool. Also in the news, I thought this was actually a really good point. One of the Asian region pro players that was at the ALGS World Championship, and might I say, they did phenomenally well. I mean, this team was absolutely popping off, and what's really crazy is whenever you're in North America, a lot of the times you watch the North American teams because not necessarily you know support them more. It's just those are the teams that you obviously can watch those streams, you understand the language, so it's much easier to get behind those teams. But whenever you see these regions come together and you have these Asian teams that are so good and underrated, and so many people in North America don't understand how good these teams are, and when you get there you see a bunch of teams you never heard of because they're from a different region, so therefore you just kind of think TSM is going to run over everybody, you know, Cloud9 is going to run over everybody, NRG is going to run over everybody. That was not the case. Fnatic did so well, EXO did so well, Dreamfire also did phenomenal. So this was actually coming from Exodus over on EXO, who says, all right, LAN was incredible, but can we talk about the severe media focus on the North American teams? From screen time to highlight videos, all media is so heavily based on the NA teams. I thought it was a world championship, and honestly it makes a pretty good point, and honestly makes a lot of sense, especially when it comes to like the highlights. If you're showing all the highlights in the YouTube videos like the next day and it's like all TSM, all Cloud9, I totally agree with that 100%. However, when it comes to the live stream coverage, there's a couple issues, not necessarily with what he said, just like I guess some unfortunate situations. Like number one, I saw a lot of the chat was complaining when they were showing like Dreamfire going against PulverX and not TSM fighting Cloud9 on the kill feed. So a lot of the viewers, I mean, TSM just has a massive fan base, Cloud9 as well, NRG as well, so it's just really hard to balance the situation of being fair and showing everybody equal coverage, and then showing the fights that a lot, probably I would say majority of the fan base want to see. And I actually saw the live chat a lot of the times, if they were not showing TSM's fight and it was going on in the background, people would be like, bro, you know, cameraman, fix the camera, show TSM. So it's kind of unfortunate because yes, I do think that they heavily focused on the North American teams and not as much on the Asian region teams or European teams. I would definitely say they focus more on the European teams in the Asian region and more on North America than all the region. And it's definitely a fair point to make, but how do you balance that when a lot of the viewers want to see TSM's fight and they do not want to see Dreamfire go against PulverX at the time? But some people were saying it was going even further than that. One person said here, any non-NA team was about to get into a fight, the broadcaster just changed over to TSM using a crafter the edge of the ring so that people could get eyes on TSM. Another good point here made too was I noticed that too, though I support NA teams, it sucked not seeing much of the other teams they kept talking about like PulverX, but I barely saw them actually play. Same with Fnatic. It was all about Furia this, TSM this, blah blah. I don't care. I want to watch fighting and know more about the other teams too, and that's definitely a fair point to make. It's just hard to balance that though whenever you have so many fans rooting for Furia, so many fans rooting for TSM on the live streams, and they want to see those two teams fight along with Cloud9, NRG as well. well. But when it comes down to simple stuff, you know, like TSM crafting something and you have another team in the fight, I completely agree. I mean, we should not be showing TSM just because a lot of the fans love it. TSM's not up to anything right now. Let's show the fights. So on one hand, I completely agree. The North American teams were shown a lot more than all the other regions probably combined. However, I also agree that, you know, if you take these North American teams out and you're not showing them, you probably have like maybe not even a third of the viewers watching the entire event. I would argue that maybe over half of all the viewers were rooting for TSM, Cloud9, NRG, one of those big North American teams. There's a reason that the chat was saying, yo, show TSM, show their fight, show what's going on with TSM or Cloud9, and no one was really arguing to see what Fnatic was doing. So it's really hard to balance and determine what is the best thing to do. But honestly, if I worked my butt off and got all the way to the World Championship, and because I was in a different region, they hardly showed me on camera, hardly showed my plays or anything, I'd be pretty frustrated too. Also in the news, Jin Burton, the guy who won the World Championship, has been accused of cheating. And people basically said that this guy had a strike pack inside of his controller and that, you know, he was basically hiding it from the refs the entire time. I thought this was a crazy accusation to make, especially when this guy's on land. They have to leave their equipment there overnight. People are inspecting their stuff. They're using their equipment to make sure that there's nothing fishy going on, especially on land. It's really hard to cheat on land. So anyways, he got accused of cheating. This was the clip that he basically spoke out against, and let me know what you guys think.
You know what's the funny thing though? Even when I'm on land, I've read things and people are saying that that I hid my strike pack in this. Oh shit. Oops, wait. I hid my strike pack on this controller. So like I opened this up like this, right? Like this. I took it out and then I hid my strike pack in here. And then what else did I do? Oh yeah, then I had a USB drive that I hid from the admins. And then, yeah. Apparently I'm still cheating, according to a lot of people. Even though there was an admin behind us the whole time, we have to leave our equipment overnight. We have to leave it overnight, by the way. And they literally use it. I've seen them literally touch my controller, use it. They've done everything. I don't know.
Now, also in the news, we've been talking about this Seer nerf that everybody keeps pushing for, and was kind of odd because no one in the world was pushing for this Seer nerf right before ALGS, and all of a sudden when they see these big players, you know, using Seer very well, all of a sudden they realize, okay, maybe Seer's a little bit better, we can all start using him. And now all of a sudden Seer is very annoying. Draynilla put this on Twitter saying Seer meta is quite possibly the worst meta ever. I'd rather take Havoc, Devo, Hemlock, L-Star, Prowler, and Season 3 Charge Rifle. Oh gosh, that's a little too far. Combined. Oh gosh, that's even way too far. Than to ever have to play in the Seer meta again. Dude, that's a little much. The Season 3 Charge Rifle was by far, in my opinion, the worst meta to ever exist in Apex Legends, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Regardless though, fair point to make. A lot of people seem to be on this bandwagon when it comes to the Seer meta getting nerfed. And also I want to talk about, apparently people are pushing for a Valk nerf as well, and it's because that, you know, someone can be extremely brain dead and just escape all the time with her, and someone who's way better cannot, you know, basically get the kill that they feel like they deserve. However, I want to note that this clip, although it does seem somewhat, you know, convincing, at the same time also you could argue that the Wraith is just as brain dead. This guy actually is the same one who posted the Watson fence needing a nerf, and your stupid idiot boy J Miles, who slightly agreed with him at the beginning, and now I've changed my opinion. So this guy just keeps putting clips over on Twitter, and they keep getting somewhat of traction regarding certain legends that need a nerf. Now personally, I think a Valk nerf will come just because everybody seems to be using her in ranked, especially at the high level. I think she had like a 99% pick rate, and you know how the devs go. They're like, screw the pick rates, if this too high, then we got to change this. So I can see the nerf happening anyways. I just don't know if this clip really constitutes a perfect cause for a nerf. But I'm very interested to hear your thoughts about this clip below, so watch this clip and let me know what you think. And lastly, the beef that we all love to see. You know, nothing in esports really makes it a better scene to watch than when there's beef behind the scenes, when there's arguments and rivalries being built up. And honestly, I see this one coming along very nicely. His Watson being the #1 ranked player last season, or last split. There was a huge race between Imperial How and his Watson, and then obviously they come to land right after that happened, and then boom, you had some crazy intense matches between TSM and Team Furia, and Team Furia absolutely popped off his Watson, showing his dominance in that tournament. And then now the beef continues. You know, both players are growing obviously very well. His Watson is just skyrocketing when it comes to popularity, and this is actually becoming a really good rivalry. So his Watson said on Twitter, "I do not have an ego Imperial How responded, I don't have an ego either. As Watson says, I wouldn't have one after how well you did in Raleigh either. So I think this is becoming one of the greatest things to see in Apex Legends esports, is to see huge rivalries being formed. That's going to make the viewership more intense to watch each and every time we have a tournament. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe to the channel. Also, thank you guys for showing the support on my second Apex channel. $1,000 if you can win a game of Apex. Honestly, the video was so much fun to make, and I had a great time doing it. We're going to be doing more, so make sure you go subscribe to that channel over there. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, later, Gators.